Hello, I'm Chris. Welcome back to my reading corner. Hope you're doing well and having a good week and reading good things. This is just going to be a weekend reads and a quick catch up. I've got a couple of books to show from the library that I thought I'd show in this video. I've read quite a few books since last week. I've read 4. I've read a manga, a comic book, and 2 novels, which I think is quite good, really. One I was nearly finished with anyway, which is Catcher in the Rye. I wasn't sure about this book. I enjoyed it, but I felt there was quite a bit of negativity in the book. He was very negative. I mean, I know that's the character, but I just found he was over negative, and I'd reread it. I think I'd reread it again, but I just found him really negative, and I found it hard to feel sorry for the character. But I suppose he's supposed to be unlikable. But yeah, I did enjoy it though. I give it 3 stars. And then also I finished Attack on Titan, which I really enjoyed. I enjoyed more than I thought I would. It's about these titans that are attacking this garrison kind of thing. They're in walls and they're coming attacking. These titans are coming attacking, and this one seems to be the only one who can destroy the wall that's around them. So it's quite an interesting book. I think it runs to about 30 volumes of manga. This is only the first one, so I've got a long way to go if I plan on reading one a month anyway. But I'd quite like reading manga like that. And then I read Sin City, That Yellow Bastard, which is brilliant. I love Hartigan. I think he's Bruce Willis in the movies, but such a good character and it's such a good story, And Michael Madsen's in it, who was in Reservoir Dogs as well in the film. But I want to read them and watch the film. So that's the 3 I've got physically. I also had Golden Age by Wang Xiaobi. I want to say, I'm not sure if that's pronounced right or not, but that was a really good book. I was on a course for my studying Monday, Tuesday, so I had the time to on the tram to read on the tram and go in, and then on the tram back, and then the bus back as well. So it was I had loads of time, and then I had an hour and a half on breaks to read. So I was just literally had a butty with me, and then just literally got my butty out and read my book for the break and didn't move from the desk really. I managed to read about 200 pages in 2 days of that. Really enjoyed it. It's kind of about his different relationships as he goes through life. There's a younger stage, a middle stage, and an older stage. It's quite interesting, really enjoyed it. I think it's one of my first Chinese reads. I don't want to say it's my first in case it's not, but it is one I thoroughly enjoyed and honestly would recommend and want to reread at some point down the line. And probably that was a library book, so I had to take it back on Thursday, so I did that. That's why I've got a couple more books. So that's that. So that's what I've read. I'm still reading some books as well. I've got a few on the go, and I've added a slight caveat to one of them, which I'll go through in a minute. So first off, we've got Charles Bukowski, Hot Water Music. I've got about 7 stories left in this. Plan on reading 2 tomorrow, and then I think that'll give me 1 each day to the end of the month. I've read 2 this morning before I started filming this, so I've started with that. We've got room. There we go. And then I'm also still reading Warren Ellis, Coming Alone. I read number 4 last night, so I'm on 5. It's crazy. I think this book's going to be crazy. It's about, I don't mean the actual book. I mean, going through it. It's 52 weeks, and we're already on week 4. I mean, it doesn't seem like 2 minutes since Christmas, which is scary. But yeah, it's all about comics and the comic industry, really. But then I like that he recommends music, he recommends novels or books, and then he also recommends graphic novels. This week he mentioned From Hell, which is one I've read, but I want to rewatch the film because that was a good film, and I want to reread the graphic novel as well. But yeah, really enjoying this, and I love I've not mentioned this before. Well, I probably have because I've read it before, but I love the cover of that. I think it's beautiful. I'm really into that kind of stuff. I'd love to get like art books with that kind of art in it, that kind of visual and stuff, or even take stuff like that myself. But I don't think I've got the talent to do that. But you know, I do want to get a digital camera at some point. I have been thinking about it for a while. More for that kind of photography than taking pictures of people. Moving on, I've started this now. This was one of my 25 and 25. It's George Louis Borges. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's Labyrinths. I've read a couple of stories in here. I was planning on reading one more after filming this. So it's before I read anything else this weekend. So it's really interesting and really good so far. A couple of stories are really good. I really enjoyed the Garden of Forking Paths so far. It's probably my favourite one I've read so far by him. But yeah, great so far. Wanted to read it for a while, glad I'm reading it. And then a small caveat now. Just one sec. With this, I'm reading this Essential Chomsky now. I'm realising that I'm not having a chance where I've got my son at weekend, and I have him this weekend. So I know I'm not going to read this. If I'm grabbing half an hour to read, I'm not going to pick this up. If I've got time on my hands, I'm picking up Labyrinths, or I'm reading Hot Water Music, or whatever, whatever I want to read. So I think, because I've got enough of this to last me the end of the year still, I'm going to read this when I don't have him. So I'm only going to show this when I don't have him. So I've got him this next 2 weekends, and I don't think I'm going to read it the third weekend, so it'll probably be a while till I read it. So what I've decided to do, if I'm not going to be reading that, then the weeks that I'm not reading that, I've decided to read this, The Best Horror of the Year, Volume 2, edited by Ellen Datlow, because I just feel like this is probably something that, when I've got him, I fancy reading some horror short stories. I'm not sure if there's... I just quickly picked it then. Stephen Graham Jones is in here. And John Langan, who wrote The Fisherman. So yeah, with this, I don't know any authors apart from those two, and I've not read any of those two. So everyone's new in here, new authors to me. So I thought, well, I've got more chance of picking that up when I've got him than that. Just not because I want to read that. I want to read them both equally, but it's just I think if I'm grabbing half an hour, I'm happily, and I feel like I need to concentrate on that more than anything else I'm reading right now or read this year so far. So that's why I picked that. I'm going to start that. I think I'm going to start that tomorrow, to be honest with you, or tonight. I don't know yet. It depends how I get on with my reading. I'm going to pick him up at 10:30, so it's about 9 now. So yeah, that's that anyway. And then I also want to try and start reading this weekend. I'm not sure. One sec. Yeah, so I want to read this weekend as well. Golden Kamuy. I'm doing. So yeah, I want to start this weekend. There's 7 chapters, so I might do two and something, or 3 and 4. I don't know. I'll see how I get on with it. But yeah, that's Golden Kamuy. That's really good. I'll just show off this last book, and then this is going to be my next novel, Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut. It's one I've wanted to read for a while, so I'm looking forward to reading that. I was going to read The Sympathizer, but then I realised that actually I'm doing really well with my TBR, because I've at least started or finished everything that was on there. Golden Age wasn't on there. The Restaurant of Lost Recipes was, but if I get through Cat's Cradle and get a chance to read that, I will. But I don't want to rush Cat's Cradle. I was going to say something then. So yeah, but with my TBR, I'm nearly done. I mean, Hot Water Music, I'm working through each day. I'm up to date with Coming Alone. I've got my list here, actually. What? I made a list. I like making lists. Yeah, so I've read Breakfast Champions, I've read Solarium, I'm reading Hot Water Music, I've started Books of Blood. I read the first story in that was really good. Bring Me Your Love I've got is the chapbook that's only thin. There's No Business is the same. Cat's Cradle's there. Labyrinths I've started. Catcher in the Rye I've read. Raymond Chandler's Marlowe was a graphic novel I read. Restaurant Lost Recipes I read Golden Age instead. I need to read Assembly actually, because it's due back at the library, or take it back, whichever one comes first. Death Note I want to read. Golden Kamuy I've just mentioned. Crazy Food Truck Manga I've read. Attack on Titan I've read. Sin City I've read. Batman Year One I've read. Sweet Tooth I've not read. And Craven's Last Hunt. So really I've got Craven's Last Hunt, Sweet Tooth, and Death Note to read of graphic novels, and then I've at least made a start in Books of Blood and Labyrinths if I don't finish them, and Cat's Cradle. So I think that's quite good really for so far. I think I've read about 8 books so far, maybe more, and didn't check my Goodreads. I did check my Goodreads, but I didn't take note of the number. So yeah. I mean, I probably could have counted it up then, but I'm not. So I'm just going to quickly show these last 2 books off. This one's quite a big one. This is The Night Alphabet. I'm just going to say what it's about because it sounds quite interesting. A woman walks into a tattoo parlour, but this is no ordinary woman, and this is Hackney in 2033. Sorry, that's 2233. Joan's body is covered in tattoos, but she wants to add one final inking to her gallery. A thin line of ink mixed with blood that connects her body art together, creating a unique map. As the 2 artists set to work, Jones tells them the story behind each tattoo. As Jones is no ordinary woman, these are no ordinary stories. Each one represents a doorway to a life Jones fell into, a remembering. Some of these lives were in the past, others in the future. Some are sideways, but each of them connects Jones to the 2 tattoo artists in some way, though they are unaware of it. Compared of interconnecting stories set across geographies and time spans, we visit the dystopian cities of the quiet men, the coal mines of the 19th century Lancashire, which is where I'm from. Well, it's Greater Manchester now, but it used to be Lancashire. Join a gang of vigilante sex workers, enter the world of an incel murder, haunt the old Merrittville gang gay bar, and uncover plans to genetically modify female children. Each story brings us closer to Jones's truth and how her life is intricately interwoven with that of the woman tattooing her body. So that sounds really good, that. It's not something I would have usually picked up, and I picked it up anyway. But that's the thing with the library books. I'm kind of like more open to pick stuff up because I'm not paying for it, especially if it's already there. And then this is, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this probably, but Adrian Tchaikovsky. Yeah, my pronunciation is terrible. Tchaikovsky. Alien Clay. I'll tell you what this one's about as well. Professor Arten Dagev has always wanted to study alien life in person, but when his political activism sees him exiled to the planet Kiln, condemned to work under an unfamiliar sky until he dies, his idealistic wish becomes a terrible reality. Kiln boasts a ravenous, chaotic ecosystem. Its monstrous alien life means Arton will risk death on a daily basis if the camp's oppressive regime doesn't kill him first, but if he survives, Kiln's lost civilization holds a wondrous, terrible secret. It will redefine life and intelligence as he knows it, and it might just set him free. So that sounds really good. That sounds sci-fi. That sounds quite good as well, the interlinking, but I've got a while to read them anyway, so I'm going to focus on what I actually own for now. Well, like I said, I want to read some more Labyrinths, Cat's Cradle. Well, since it's Saturday now, since it's Saturday now, everything else I've either read or finished. So, so let's go through. Let's go that way. So tomorrow. I've read today. I plan on reading The Upward Bird and Cold Night and Hot Water Music. I want to read The Lottery in Babylon, but I might also read Pierre Menard. I'm going to read The Lottery in Babylon today, and then Pierre Menard, author of The Quixote tomorrow, and The Circular Ruins, I think. I might see anyway. I'm going to read some of this in a minute. I want to start Golden Kamuy, which I'll probably try and read while Sam's here, just because then I can dip my toe into it and enjoy it. Like half an hour 10 minutes with a bro, I can read a chapter of that, maybe 15 minutes. And then I want to start this weekend now. I mean, I had a few, but this is quite modern horror, that's why I picked this one. So yeah, I'm going to read. The first story in here is Summation 2009, and that's by Ellen Datlow, who edited it. So yeah, quite interesting that. So yeah, that's what I want to read this weekend. Hope you're reading good stuff. I will be back later with a book haul, probably this evening or tomorrow now, just because I want to chill and read before I go and pick him up. But I'll see you in the next one. Bye.